Hello, I am going to share some of the basics of using the Metrics That Matter platform to begin the process of understanding, measuring, and supporting the well-being of your community. The first step is educational in essence. At Cadre, we have identified 3 domains in which well-being can and should be measured. These domains are personal, communal, and organizational. Within each domain, there are constructs, the essential building blocks of well-being within that domain. Within the personal domain, we find the well-being constructs of mental, emotional, physical health, sense of meaning, level of hope, autonomy, efficacy, and financial well-being. Within the communal domain, we find the well-being constructs of caring relationships, sense of belonging, level of support, satisfying or fulfilling community, diversity, collective efficacy, and social capital. Finally, within the organizational domain, we find work-life balance, safety, voice participation, strong mission, work demands, healthy rituals, and health policy. Now, if we endeavored to measure all of these constructs in all of these domains, it would be an onerous proposition, and it would likely not reflect the actual interests of your community. So, we ask the community which metrics matter to them. We also work with the sponsoring department to determine which demographic markers are wanted in the survey. They can range from the standard demographics, including age, gender, and race, to more specific demographics, including years at the workplace, specific locality, for example, department, or years of education. This construct survey is the first step of the process, identifying which metrics the community wants to measure. This is a brief survey, which is enabled through a drag and drop or ranking survey as seen here. Participants rank the constructs from the most important to the least important in all 3 domains. Once the construct survey is completed, typically within 3 to 5 minutes, a completely unique well-being survey, including the top 3 constructs identified by your community from each domain, is created and ready for immediate distribution. You can see live how many construct surveys are completed during the survey administration, should you wish to. Typically, the construct survey can be completed during a series of staff meetings, live after a brief description of the well-being effort your team is hoping to implement. Generally, a follow-up email with a link to the complete well-being survey is then circulated to participants, with a clear date for when the survey should be completed. The well-being survey itself typically takes 10 to 15 minutes to complete. During the time the survey is live, there is visibility into the number of surveys completed. Once the survey is closed, the results are immediately visualizable. As mentioned earlier, demographic data can be nuanced and rich, so that leadership can glean insight on how to support different demographics of their workforce specifically. From this point, there are 2 options. Leadership can begin working toward improving well-being in the constructs identified for improvement, or they can begin a new survey series designed to ask participants how they would like to see their well-being improved. In either case, it is recommended that some specific effort is put forth to improve the well-being metrics that were measured. After a set time, typically several months of well-being improvement efforts, a second post-survey is distributed. Again, the post-well-being survey is typically distributed via email with a clear closing date stated. This survey serves to measure the impact of the efforts in the interim months. Again, upon closing the survey, the data is also immediately visualizable, and comparison against the initial well-being survey can be easily seen. From this point, the entire process can be restarted, identifying the constructs and running a new survey series based upon those constructs. Or, longitudinal data can be collected, such that the original survey will be distributed for a 3rd time, and so on and so forth. I want to note that this survey instrument is both a valid and reliable measure of the specific constructs identified. However, we recognize that many communities have their own unique ways of defining well-being. For communities that identify different constructs in the domains of personal, communal, and organizational well-being, fully customizable constructs can be developed with associated items or questions for the well-being survey. If you have any questions on our existing understanding of well-being, or the process for implementing a survey, or would like additional clarification on what customization may look like, please reach out to me.